What's going on, Clashers? This is the D. Just a heads up, my internet's been awful today, so if I get disconnected a few times, my bad. Anyway, so we had a war against Extinction. They weren't very good. They didn't use most of their attacks. We beat the pants off of them. The only one we had trouble with was a Town Hall 10, whatever. So we're going to jump right in with some cleanup. So we're going to start out with my attack on 3. And I will say, I didn't have my king for this one, but there were just some minor mistakes I made that caused me to lose. So I'm going to start out on this one. I'm going to lure. Yeah, go ahead and just bring out the drag and those minions. And then I'm going to bring them down here. And let's see here. So I went ahead and brought them down here. One thing you'll notice, guys, I didn't use the poison up there to kill up at the top to kill the minions. I brought them down here, and the reason is the most of that poison does is slow down the dragon's attack. If you use it when they come out of the clan castle, then you don't get that benefit, and you actually waste a bunch of times. So go ahead and, if you're going to anchor, bring them down, and then use the poison to slow the dragon down. It'll still end up killing those minions. In fact, I give it a little bit of time so that it starts to kill them. Anyway, so go ahead and drop down my queen, a few wizards. They start doing work. I'm going to go ahead and drop my golem here in just a second. Yeah, drop a golem there and a golem there. Man, I wish I'd waited a second on that wizard. Anyhow, go ahead and drop some wizards. Notice I'm cutting those buildings that are off to the right and left so that everything's going to funnel to the middle. I actually brought a P.E.K.K.A because I didn't have my king, and I needed some. I was hoping to have something to heat seek. Probably should have brought a witch in retrospect, but whatever. There were no Teslas in that area, so I thought I was safe to bring the P.E.K.K.A. He does get in there and do his job. He kills the queen pretty fast. She's dead. And then the king takes a little bit of damage, but he stays alive. So there was my mistake. I sent 2 waves of hogs, right? When you got these close-knit bases like this, I'm finding it's best to keep them all together because those hogs are going to take a lot of damage. They need to be able to take out defenses super fast, and you need to get more bang for your buck on your heals. Because I sent them in 2 different waves, I'm going to have to drop 2 heals here. I won't have one to save me from the bomb that's going to kill me at the end. So I think that was my big mistake there, was not putting them all in one column, probably on the left side. But anyway, so they're going to go through. Everything's actually looking great, and I thought I was going to win it, but then I hit a bomb at the end, didn't have a heal left, because I definitely need one right here. They unfortunately didn't cut up into the left, so didn't get to save myself from that bomb. Anywho, we're going to speed up here. And in a second, yeah, there's the bomb. And that's, we don't need to watch the rest. So that was me screwing up on 3. We're going to watch Mac do it a little differently. Now, granted, he has his king, so it makes a big difference. But he does something different. You notice he didn't bring a jump. He didn't bother to lure. And it was probably a good idea not to lure there because he's going to trip the troops on the outside. If you're going to have to get deep into the base to trip the CC troops, that's probably not good. So he goes ahead and drops his wall breakers. And you're going to see there's a reason why I didn't do it that way, because wall breakers can be wonky. But Mac was actually smart. He brought a bunch of extra wall breakers, and we're going to see an attack on a similar base, but where that didn't work. He sends his king in after he's created a huge funnel there, so his king has nowhere to go but after that queen. Then sends all his hogs in. And again, he's got 4 heals. He's going to tear through this base. I mean, it's pretty much done here. His golems have done their job. They protected everything. And that's going to be about it. He's still got a heal left. He knows he's about to hit this bomb over here in a second. A few hogs split up to go take care of that one. And he's got his heal down. And now, basically, we can speed up. It's done. Over and done with. Very good job, Mac. I do like that, the big thing is he did a way where he wouldn't need to jump, so he has the extra heal. And that was a big difference. The way I went in, you had to use a jump. And you'll see it does work on this base. There's no perfect way to do it. But I did like that, but you notice that he did bring a few. He didn't just bring 2, because that's all he needs to get into that wall. You're going to see somebody else do the same thing, but it doesn't blow up that wall. And then things go pretty badly. Anywho, let's go on down. We're going to watch Old Man hit 6. Let's see if I can find it here. Old man hitting, yeah, there we go. Old man's going to hit 6. And this is one where the queen's on the outside. And so should be pretty simple. And you're going to see something that old man does. You get let me pause here. Guys, when you're killing the CC, you also have to kill the queen at Town Hall 9. I think everybody's starting to figure that out. You have to kill the queen. Here's the thing. At Town Hall 8, you could waste 30 or 40 troop space just killing the drag and basically get nothing out of it and still pull it off. Still pull off the win at Town Hall 8, burning 40 troop space. You can't do that at Town Hall 9. You have to get more value out of your kill squad. And you're going to see what I mean on this one. So we're going to speed up just a little bit. He's going to anchor down here. Speed up. There we go. And he, drops his witches. Normal CC kill. Nothing different from a Town Hall 8 attack. And it's actually great because he got the skeleton traps. That's pretty awesome. But you're going to see what happens. He's dropped his queen down. He's got witches. He's got, a wizard or 2 down there too. I think the wizard was out of the CC. But, that's 30 troop space and a couple archers and the queen. And what's going to happen to these guys? We're watching it right here. They're going to get burnt up pretty bad. They take out a whiz tower, but they don't get much else. They don't get much else. That witch is going to go down. They get an archer tower, but that's about it. They're not going to get much more. Just doesn't get any value. And he did a good job. He dropped his king and got a trade, but now his king is dead. So again, something he didn't get a ton of value off of. And mostly the queen and everything is just walking around killing trash. He just didn't get a bunch of value out of it. And one of the witches went down. Queen's sitting there chasing the king, which is good, but she never actually takes it down. Ends up spending all her time hitting walls. Same thing with that witch. What you're going to see, and it's going to dissipate here. He's out of heals. He's going to hit a bomb, and he's done. And there's just nothing. Even though his queen and everything is still up, all they've done is clean up some trash, and it's just not going to be enough to get to those buildings on the outside there. He just didn't have enough time left. So let's watch what BWAG, he did. It's very, very similar attack what BWAG does on 6, but there's just a slight difference. If you remember, when he lured, old man took him down to this corner. Now, look where the queen is. If you take them to this corner here, those witches are going to come over and help kill this queen, and that's going to keep your king alive. And allow the king to join in on that, and also get a bunch more defenses. So you always want to lure to the side where the queen is if you can, so that way that those CC kill troops help with the queen kill as well. And whether she's on the outside or the inside, you need to do that. And you're going to see an attack later in just a second where somebody did that where it was in the core, and it's why he lost, because he spent 40 troop space on nothing. I love that Brandon. I'm sorry, BWAG. To reveal on BWAG's name, he brought a giant to help tank a little bit, which was good. I probably would have saved it for over here and dropped it with that king, but hey, he did some tanking. So the king's alive. King's used his ability. Queen's moving in, and he's killing a bunch of stuff here. And notice BWAG didn't even bring witches. He didn't need them. That was really good. Saved a bunch of troops. Didn't spend as much troop space to kill that CC. He's going to have a bunch of extra hogs, and that's going to be the winner for him. You notice the queen actually went down for BWAG, but because he didn't have to bring witches, he still got about the same amount of buildings, did about the same amount of damage to the base. He got a lot more though, and because he didn't have to use those witches, he saved a bunch of troop space. If you're going to have to sacrifice troops, make it a few wizards. If it's going to be witches, they got to live for a long time. They got to do some important damage. But anyway, he goes through, he rips through the base. We're going to speed up because it's pretty much done. He's got just 1 billion hogs left, and that's the end of it. So the moral of that story is, I think the biggest, if old man had just lured to this corner instead of this corner, I think that raid would have went completely different for him. So forget the difference in the troop composition and all that. I think the raid would have went completely different if he just brought them over there. Let's go down. We're gonna watch Kinger and a couple. I think Epic also hit this one. Didn't quite get it, but I want you to see Kingers because it kind of illustrates my point here. Let's see here. It was a defense. Yeah, there we go. Kinger hitting 8. So, all right. The queen is here in the core. This is the same base that I hit earlier. It's very, very similar. So, let's see here. He's going to lure. He sends 3 in. He didn't need 3. 1 did the same job. But, whatever. Now, here's where his mistake is. He is going to lure over to this corner. Now, look. That gets him nothing. He is going to get nothing off of his CC kill other than killing the CC. And you're going to see he brings, 30 troop space to do it, drops a few wizards, drops 2 archers. I mean, we're talking like 48 troop space that he's going to spend, 44 troop space he's going to spend on killing the CC, and that's all he's going to get, that and a couple of trash buildings. I don't even think he gets a defense for it. You cannot waste that kind of troop space on your CC kill. Does he even use his poison here? I don't know. Yeah, it was like 50 troop space. He dropped all his wizards, 52 troop space if you count the archers, and you should. It's troop space. And watch, they're going to get nothing. I kind of don't care what happens over here now, because the raid's already lost. You can't spend that kind of troop space and get nothing for it and expect to win at Town Hall 9. It can happen, but don't bet on it. Here's the other thing. He brought the wall breakers and a jump, and you gotta pick one or the other. You can't bring them both, because if you spend the 8 troop space, you get in there. I guess those golems are going to keep moving, and that's good. But honestly, the main thing you needed them for was to draw the fire of the expos. Also would be already hitting my king's ability. You let him get too low, and you actually didn't even get to use it. So he took out the queen though. But again, just getting to if you spend all that, you spent a jump, he spent wall breakers, he spent golems, he spent his king. His queen's still alive, but she's not going to get to do much over here. And that's it. I mean, you can't spend that much on just getting. You have to get something else. You can spend that much, but you have to get something else. And he really just didn't get much for him. And then, there's just too much working over here. He doesn't have another heal. And that's the end of it. So now we're going to watch a little redemption, because this was the same base I hit before. Basically the exact same base. A little lower level, though. Again, I don't have my king for this one. But watch what happens. I'm going to lure the same way. Pull him out. I'm going to bring him down here. I think I brought a minion this time. It doesn't matter. Drop my poison. And watch this. Watch what I get for these witches that I have. Drop my queen down. Drop a couple of wizards. Take out that dragon. The wizards started taking fire, so I went ahead and got my golem down. Went ahead and created my funnel. Again, the funnel is super, super important. There's no fire coming at them, so I drop the wall breakers, get into the core, or start getting into the core, and I drop my witches down. Now, because I've created my funnel, everything's going to go to that middle. I drop that jump down. They're going to go in and start beating up on all these buildings, and then the queen's going to jump the wall, and those skeletons are going to go right after her. So I was saying on the other one, I probably should have just brought witches. It would have done the same thing as the P.E.K.K.A. Queen's in there too, working on stuff. She's going to help take out those heroes. And then I just went in with, a 2-finger drop on the left side. They're all going to get to the meet up in the middle. My golems are going in. Everything's good to go. And so those witches are still working. They're starting to get blasted by the Wiz Tower, but they did their job. They helped kill the CC. They helped kill some trash buildings. They helped tank a little bit. And most importantly, they took out the queen too. So even though my witches died as well, I got so much more value for them, to the point where I didn't even need a king to beat this base. So that's, you got to be thinking. Remember when I said at Town Hall 8, there are different parts to a raid. You've got your lore, then you've got your CC kill, then you've got to do your hogs and think about their pathing. But just because there are different parts doesn't mean those parts are independent of each other. Each part needs to work together. So when you do your CC kill, what are those troops going to do for you after they do that? After they get that CC kill, what kind of value are you going to get for them? You need to maximize that. Now at Town Hall 8, like I said, you don't really have to. You can. And on a really tough high-level base, you kind of need to a little more. But the truth is, at Town Hall 8, you can screw up a lot and still come out fine. At Town Hall 9, you have to maximize your troop space. So just keep that in mind when you're going. So how are these different parts of my raid going to fit together, work together, so that I can get the maximum amount of value? But anywho, guys, this has been another war recap. We got more coming. This has been the D. Just keep going for 3 stars, guys.